Welcome back to Zandy Uses Unrelated Games as a soapbox to talk about things in real life. My name is Zandy, and as usual, I'll be your host today as we play Warframe and talk about totally unrelated topics. Well, not totally unrelated, he said, with a note of whist and spite in his voice, as he began to discuss the YouTubers Union warning strike. So, today we're going to talk about that, mostly as a PSA style thing, to make sure that people understand what's going on. Ask people questions. I have a few things I want your input on, so there'll be that. We'll talk about that, and then we're just gonna hang out and play Warframe as per usual. But of course, we have that business to attend to first. So, welcome one, welcome all. Jory Proteus and Charles McFarlane, welcome. You are the two first members of the YouTubers Union warning strike discussion stream. TM patent pending. Jimon, we're still on Gong. You can indeed Gong while we're doing YouTube streams. You can use Twitch rewards while we are YouTube streaming. That is a thing some people don't seem to know, but that is a thing you can do. Jordan Angles, welcome. Kevin Thomas, welcome. Welcome one, welcome all. Let's I'm just gonna level stuff idly while we talk. Get stuff going. Sold Limano, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, let's do an exterminate. Lord Beesh. Ah, yes. Lord Beesh, my child. You have returned to me. Actually, let's just do this in a group. Yeah, so we have a lot to discuss today. Between the police sirens going off in the background. And the YouTubers Union strike. That I'm going to be doing later this week, and a lot of other stuff. So we're just going to hang out and talk. And actually, we were planning to do like a topic stream today about a little experiment, or sort of like the community state of the game gauging thing that my partner Anna and I want to do together. But we're not going to do that yet. We're going to do that when we have more time. And today we're just going to talk about business, of course. So yeah, we're gonna hang out and play Warframe as usual, but forgive me, we are gonna talk about business stuff. Zandy's a wanted man. back in the day, you could just make videos on YouTube without being meta, but those days are over. That time has passed. Oh, so many people. Welcome everyone. Ron J. Burv, welcome. Kason McMurtley, excuse me. Welcome. McMurtry, excuse me. I want to welcome everyone. White Skull, welcome. Teenager's Guide, welcome. Spirit and Steel, welcome back. Spirit and Steel, hey, I looked up that book that you recommended. You recommended a book last stream to me called Palimpsest, and it sounds really cool. I'm definitely going to read it. It was a very good suggestion. Just by reading the summary, I was like, I'm probably going to like this book. The style of... not the summary of the book, but like I read a little bit about it and I was like, I see why you recommended this. It sounds really cool. Thank you for recommending that. MomQuest, welcome. Skull McCurley, welcome. I wanna give everyone a chance to get here first, because we really need to make sure awareness about this is on point before we talk about it, because that's the whole point of talking about it. But basically, you don't really have to worry about anything. I don't want to make people feel like they have to wait a long time and listen carefully if they don't want to hear about this and they're just worried about me. There is really nothing to worry about per se yet, but there is indeed need of change on YouTube. That is indeed a problem, and we need to do something about it, because YouTube is basically broken and Google refuses to fix it, so we gotta make them fix it. So we're gonna do a little warning strike. Basically all that's happening is we're gonna have to say this a lot of other times in the stream, but might as well start talking about it now. I'm going to upload one video that is essentially a normal video, like you would normally get from my channel. We're going to upload a normal video, but not to YouTube. I'm going to upload it on Twitch, but, people doing the strike are going to upload one video like they normally would on YouTube, but somewhere else instead, like maybe to Facebook, maybe to Mixer, I mean, not Mixer, Vimeo, maybe to Daily Motion, maybe some people even suggested Pornhub, anywhere. It doesn't really matter. And then we're going to upload a teaser trailer only on YouTube, an unmonetized teaser trailer that leads people to the real, the normal video, the real video, the normal video. And then I'm just gonna say like, hey, so my normal video that you might want to be watching is over here on Twitch, so go check out the link in the description, go look at it, and then if you want to stay here on YouTube and listen to me talk about why YouTube sucks right now, I'll talk about that for, like 10 minutes or whatever. So that's what it's going to be. That's really all that's happening. You might be wondering why it's so necessary to go out of my way so much to talk about this. And part of the reason is that it's very important that people understand that I'm not leaving YouTube. Our intention is not to leave YouTube. And nothing is really like going wrong, particularly for me. It's just very important to be clear about exactly what's happening. So if you have any questions whatsoever about anything, please tell me. Please tell me. This is the perfect time to ask. Please tell me. Hey, what do you think about using the Zoth from Wukong Sucks on the Funnel Cloud Zephyr build? Josh Merritt, why? To pull enemies into the tornadoes? That's not a horrible idea. I think that you will not be satisfied with the amount of suck. You will not enjoy the amount it pulls enemies in. I feel that without Wukong's slam stance, you don't quite get enough slams for Exodia Hunt to be quite satisfying enough. It's like almost there. It's not bad. I just don't think it's quite good enough without Wukong's Exalted stance. But your results may vary. That's not a bad idea. I wish that Zephyr still had her Dive Bomb Vortex augment so that we could Dive Bomb Vortex enemies in together. That would be cool. Teenager's Guide said, what kind of genres are you into? You mean like for literature or like for games or for what? If it's for literature, I read all sorts of stuff. I'm much more interested in how the writer writes than like the genre of the book. I've liked all sorts of stuff. But I love fantasy. I love surrealism. Magic realism is interesting. Anyway, yes. Can we talk about a Mirage build? I've been having issues with keeping her alive unless I have teammates to help absorb shots. That is the problem with Mirage right now. I'd be happy to talk about that, but I don't have a solution. So I will have to simply tell you that I don't have a solution. But I'd be happy to explore that with you briefly, yes. We can do that. Let me just finish off leveling my Equinox up. Radiant Onyx, I'm glad you like my Equinox fashion. I'm probably going to tweak it a little bit, but I'm pretty satisfied with it too. I really like this Insomnia skin, Equinox's Insomnia skin. What will the video you upload to another site be? So, Teenager's Guide, I thought I would ask you a little bit about that. I think that it is important that it be a video that people actually want to go see, and so Framework makes sense. And yet, I want to make sure things are still unified. Like, I don't want to break up Framework, like where Framework is. I don't want to make it inconvenient to consume just for the sake of, the YouTube strike. That's important, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to jeopardize what we're doing, save the content platform, but destroy the content stream, you know? We don't want to do that, in my opinion, anyway. So, I don't know. I was thinking that I would do a framework. I have one in mind to do for that, but I think some people might be upset by that, so I wanted to ask you all what you thought about that. I could do a non-series piece of content. It's basically between a framework and like a video I have in mind about building for some different kinds of survivability. Keep in mind, I'm going to do both videos anyway. It's not a matter of whether I will do this content. It's a matter of where it goes. And keep in mind that it's not as though it's a matter of earnings or anything, because I'm not really earning a meaningful amount of money on YouTube right now. So, yeah, I mean, what do you all think? I'd love to hear what you all think. It's not going to be Tools of the Trade, because Tools of the Trade currently needs more in its series. Tools of the Trade is barely even established as a series yet, so I really don't feel like we can separate a Tools of the Trade video out. I'm definitely not going to do Tools of the Trade. Gabe, welcome. Welcome. Yeah, I agree with MomQuest that the Mirage survivability problem is solved by best defense is a good offense. But I do think it would be very simple for them to like change Mirage in a way that would fix the problem. So I mean, I don't know though, like Jordan Angles, you said for Mirage, for every frame, if you're shooting bullet jump, if not roll, that's not enough though. Like that's good, definitely, you know, you should be doing that, but most people are always doing that. That's not enough survivability on its own for higher level stuff is still gonna kill you, you know, too fast. In my opinion, in my experience, but it does help a lot. Again, Cortel Maze, I'm not going to do Tools of the Trade because there's only 3 Tools of the Trade videos right now. We really need to establish that series more. It's kind of weak at the moment, not in terms of the content, but like as a series, its presence is a bit weak. If somebody likes it, they don't watch that many videos if they watch the whole thing. We really want to ramp that up. And because we won't be able to put it into the playlist if it's somewhere else, I don't want to separate Tools of the Trade out like that. Otherwise, I think that would be a good example of a type of content to separate out, but I don't think in practice it's a very good decision. Whereas framework, I could make like an alternate, like a framework alter, like an alternate framework that you know, like is already a frame we've done in framework and you know, isn't something you're going to be desperately missing if it's not on the main channel, but is still like a very interesting idea I've had. And then that's a high priority video that people will watch, that will draw people to another platform. It's gotta have some punch or it's not effective as a strike. You know, it has to attract people over there a little, or YouTube won't be like, oh, we're losing viewers because we suck. We should stop sucking. Like, if it doesn't attract people elsewhere, then that's not working. I feel Twitch is one of the larger competitors, not a direct competitor, but an industry competitor, which is one of the reasons I want to use Twitch. Zendi, is it thundering over there? No, it's not. It is a little rainy, but not thundery. I might have, like, kicked something. I'm sorry. Again, Kari Jordan, the idea you suggested is cool, but we don't need to establish a new series, not really. I wanted to know what people thought about, like, making the video that goes on a different platform be a tools, like a framework video, or should it be like just a Warframe video that I wanted to talk about, but that isn't like part of an existing series. I was just curious what people thought. McMurtry, you said, what do you think about Ember right now? I think she's okay at doing what she's always done, but with the Saren buffs going live, I feel she'd be considered even worse than she is now. I feel that Saren and Ember used to be more similar, but I think that they are diverging now. So I actually think that that's a good thing for Ember. In context, that is subjectively, I think it will be a buff for Ember. I think that Saren's ability as a like offensive support Warframe is kind of lower. Like, she's mostly going to be killing the things herself and not magnifying her allies' damage, I feel. Whereas Ember is still potentially, depending on how you build her, a pretty good offensive support, in my opinion. A pretty top-shelf offensive support. That's one of the only things I think Ember is good at right now. I've always said that I think that Ember just needs to have her 3 melt bullets, and then that would go a long way toward making her viably survivable. So again, I'm talking about like this Fire Blast ability. The ring it creates should become like a cylinder, and it should melt bullets. And then if enemies walk in melee range, then they get a heat proc. That already happens, and they'll get stunned. And then if ranged enemies attack you, their bullets, I think that would totally fix the problem. All you have to do, Gukas is mentioning, I stopped using Ember after the drain increase and range decrease, talking about on World on Fire. But for World on Fire, you can simply turn the ability off and then turn it back on again every 10 seconds, and it's about as good as it was before. So you may not like that, that's perfectly reasonable, but like it's not like that's actually that bad. If you desperately needed to use Ember for some reason, you could do it. I think that Fire Blast melting bullets would pretty much fix Ember's problem of like never being able to guarantee she'd be safe. For example, reviving an ally as Ember is kind of a nightmare. You can use operator mode, of course, but you know what I mean. And then I think Ember would be in an okay place as sort of like an offensive area denial frame. So, yes. I think Ember is in an okay place, but I do believe her to be one of the weaker frames along with Mirage, who we was just asked about. And the reason I think that they are both in the weakest place, not necessarily that weak, but the weakest place, is because they do not have anywhere to guarantee that they survive. They have ways to be tanky or defended. Ember has Firequake and other crowd control. They have crowd control, but it's not reliable enough. Mirage has defensive measures, but they're not reliable enough. You can't guarantee that you'll be safe, and that's the problem with them, in my opinion. And so for Mirage, I really don't think there is a way to make yourself like just genuinely survivable as Mirage, besides just moving all over the place. What I think needs to happen is Sleight of Hand just needs to create guaranteed light and dark. So simply, when you cast Sleight of Hand, the little jewel has a guaranteed ring of light around it that counts as light for Eclipse's damage bonus, and then a guaranteed ring of dark around that ring of light that counts guaranteed for Eclipse's damage reduction bonus. And then that means if you need to be tanky, you can cast Sleight of Hand, move into the dark part with Eclipse, and you will be tanky. The problem is Mirage has this pile of defensive things, but none of them are guaranteed. And we just need a way to generate light and dark if she's going to play with that. That's what I think she needs to do. Personally, I would recommend for now that you simply bounce off the walls as Mirage. I think Prime Flow and Quick Thinking is still the best way to go for survivability as Mirage. It's really all you can do. And then hopefully if you have Hall of Mirrors out, then you won't get shot again directly, and you'll have enough time to bullet jump away. Anyway, backlog of comments. Let's let us go back. And I want to work with Equinox a lot today, which is why she's out. Josh Merritt, earlier you had said, with Tools of the Trades, can you highlight Scourge or the Ferox with tactical reload? I find it interesting and nichely useful. I agree that that's an interesting interaction. I want to explain something about Tools of the Trade that I think has not been clear, because I haven't said it in the series, but I'm going to say it in the next one. It's meant to be a progression of build complexity. So the first season of Tools of the Trade, that's why there's like seasons. The first season of Tools of the Trade is like all just one build to rule them all. Like it is one build to rule them all, straight up. It is just one build to rule them all. They're very simple weapons. If you've seen one build to rule them all, it's basically just examples of that. And then the finale of season 1 will be like one build to rule them all, but it's actually, it looks different, but it's actually the same as one build to rule them all. I'll keep that a surprise. You'll see what I mean. It's only 6 episodes long, so we're almost, we're halfway done with that. Then season 2 will be builds that diverge from that. Builds that maybe don't have an elemental combo for whatever reason, where their best build is not an elemental combo, in my opinion. Builds that have more than a few mods different than one build to rule them all. Then season 3 is like stuff that's way out there. Season 4 is like it doesn't even have offensive mods, or like things that are really, really weird. So something like the Scourge Ferox Javlock with tactical reload. For those that don't know what it is like with the thrown weapons, the spear guns, if you throw them while they're on the ground, they count as being holstered. Seems like they made a cheeky little coding thing, and basically they're having the mod check whether it isn't not holstered, not whether it is holstered. So if it's on the ground, it isn't not holstered, or it's not equipped. So it's not holstered, but it's not equipped, and so that counts as being holstered, and it will reload itself, which means you can throw it, and then, like if it's the Javlock, it'll empty its magazine, but then reload itself, and then you can pick it back up and immediately throw it. That's quite powerful in the right situation, and that is something I will totally talk about at some point, because it's awesome. But that would be something for like season 2 or season 3. I feel like probably season 3. So yes, that's totally something I was kind of planning to cover with the Javlock, but not soon, because it's Tools of the Trade is starting with simple builds. I hope that makes sense. Good idea, though. Good suggestion. Charles McFarlane, you said, I do framework for the other video because it's the strongest series. I would agree. Are there any popular requests for videos you could upload on other sites? Yeah, so like one of my patrons has queued up a video request for if you're a $50 patron of mine or more, which is a lot of money, then every month you can request a video. We'll collaborate on a video. Somebody requested a couple months back actually a video on different ways to be survivable. So like an analysis of like quick thinking versus armor versus shields versus health, all the factors that would play into your survivability. And that video is coming soon. I'm pretty much done. I know what I want to say. So that will be soon. Lord Bishu said things that exist. I don't think I'm going to do things that exist just because it's such a general series. I really enjoyed making it. It's fun to make like short little skitty videos, but I would rather make videos in that format and then just not call them things that exist. Because that's an incredibly general series name. That series was actually intended to be an experiment in like what will happen if I make a series that is like not even related things, like, and then people just know that it's going to be like that format. I'm not sure how effective I felt that was. I felt it was a mixed bag, and I think it's better to just make short videos in that format that people liked. But I mean, I'm down for that, sure. Parody Schmerity said, Zandy, have you noticed anything different with YouTube? I finally had your Volt video that's on my home list. Usually I have to scroll down a lot to find any of your videos. It's hard to say, Parody Schmerity. I'm going to speed up videos again, and then we will see what happens. Maybe it is different, but I don't think it is. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I don't think it is different. I think that's probably just luck, like a coincidence, but I'm not sure, perhaps. Gabe, you said, what do you think the next primes will be? It's not a matter of opinion. They go in release order. Male, male, female, female in the order the frames were released. So the next primes will be Chroma and Limbo. There's no doubt whatsoever. That's what they will be. Whether it will be Chroma or Limbo first, I don't know. And then after that will almost definitely be Mesa. Zandy, I think it's worth leveraging the popularity of your existing series for the strike. Yeah, so we'll do framework then. I had felt that way myself. I just wanted to know what people felt about it. Kari Jordan says, how about you make your own Warframe story like DK did? Again, I'm not trying to invent a new series. I think you've misunderstood. We're not making a new series. I mean, we are making a new series, but I already have it made. We're just deciding on one video to put on a different channel for the purposes of the strike. And I agree. I think it's best to have it be a series video. Anyway. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments. Spanktank, welcome. Are you doing a lot of freelance work now that you're not making much content anymore? Well, Trev Soda, it's not that I'm not making much content anymore. It's I'm not making much YouTube content anymore. I'm making more Patreon content and Twitch content than ever before. We're streaming more than we were before. My patrons are getting more, not that many more, but more videos than ever before with the advent of my weekly podcast. So I am making I'm doing as much work for the channels, plural, as I was before. It's just that not very much of it is YouTube because I make absolutely no money off of that and I can't keep myself fed that way. I've decided to ramp it back up. I stabilized a little bit, so I am ramping it back up. And you will start to see 2 videos a week again, is my goal for now, along with the stream, of course. And then I'm hoping we can get back up to 3 again, even while YouTube is suffering like this. And then hopefully things will get better. And I will also let you know that I've banked a lot of videos that are ready for when the YouTube thing is fixed, if it ever is. That there will suddenly be a gigantic flood of content that will come out when the YouTube thing is fixed. But a lot of that is content that I feel mostly has value for newer viewers. And so I'm not going to release it now. And also just financial viability. Like I would really need that money when it's fixed. So hopefully that will clear up. But I'm still working just as much as I was before. There's just not as many YouTube videos coming up. I am not making any less content than I was before. It's just not on YouTube. Mesa Prime will be so cool, I agree. Did you do an updated video with the newly added Zaw parts? No, but I'm working on that right now. We have a lot of the ones that I would want to talk about are like, here's the heavy blade. Basically, the heavy blade I'd want to talk about. Where's the hammer? What did I call the hammer? 9 iron, right. LMNOP. Okay, yes. This gigantic golf club is the hammer I would want to talk about. Now, mind you, a lot of these are very simple and not really very interesting because they're basically just like Equinox with like the parts that make a hammer or the parts that make whatever. Here's Nikana Prime, but Azah. It has like the exact same stats. Exact same stats as Nikana Prime, but it's Azah instead of not being Azah. Ninja Clan, here I stand. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much done with setting up that video, but we have not done it yet. Oh yeah, the 9 iron, yeah boy. Spicy. Happy Days, I've never heard of Factorio. What is that? Spirit and Steel, you said, I really need to patron up. Don't feel any pressure to. If it fits you, then go for it, and if not, then don't worry about it. I very much feel that $1 is like a reasonable amount, and you should know that like $1 really does help. Like patroning someone for $1 is a big deal. It's not actually the money that is helping, although a lot of people patroning for $1 can indeed make the man. It's actually more that means more people consuming my patron content, and then that means I can improve it better, and that will attract more patrons in the long run. So it's much more sustainable to get lots of small patrons and then get lots of feedback and then improve my Patreon experience, and then I can attract lots of other people with it. So that is, and of course, while still supporting me and keeping it viable to make content on it. So yeah, you should totally be a patron for $1. It does make a big difference, but if you don't feel like you can, don't feel any pressure at all. It is still very supportive to watch videos. There's actually quite a few ways that you can support people financially, even without paying money directly. So if people are interested in that, that's something we could talk about, but I don't want to go into it if people don't care. Also, I forgot to change the description of this stream, so let me correct it by adding in the normal linkies. Like I just talked about Patreon, but you can't go to my Patreon right now because there isn't a link in the description. Well, I mean, you could still navigate there yourself, but you know what I mean. Bam. Let's update that. Now let's go back here. Factorio is a game all about factory building and automation. It's the second highest rated game on Steam, and it's fully releasing soon. Cool. That sounds kind of interesting. It sounds like running a car production line or something. Not in a bad way. I made it sound boring. But you know what I mean. That sounds kind of interesting. I'll take a look. Are videos for melee stances a viable series? You mentioned last week about hidden additives on melee combos. Yeah, except that the melee rework is coming soon. They're probably going to change the way that here, let me just tell people we're here. Live on YouTube with some discussion of our future plans. Boop. Come say some words. Come type some words. There we go. And tweet. And over here. And post. And on Twitch. There we are. Wonderful. Besides the fact that they're about to change all the stances soon, yes, totally. I already have a video on some of the more important, like, hidden stances, to know about. What is that video called? Advanced Stance tutorial, I think is what I called it. That video exists, and you could totally look it up. If you look up Stance Dance tutorial, I bet it will come up. Ow. That is a thing. I'm gonna swap out for Prime Fury. My eye is like spazzing. But yes, that's totally a viable topic for general content. I think it is anyway. So that's totally something I would be up for doing in the future. Just like I'd want to wait for stances to be reworked. because stances are getting changed potentially in a big way. We don't know if the input method of stances is going to change. We're getting light attack and heavy attack, basically, and we don't know whether, like, maybe right now, a stance that you activate by doing, like, attack, attack, hold, attack, 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 that might get changed to be light attack, heavy attack, hold, light attack, heavy attack, light attack, you know? Which is not a huge change, but it warrants waiting to not have to slightly remake all the videos. So that's why I wouldn't want to do that now, but I do think that's a cool idea for content in general, and something that I'm very interested in, because I think it is seldom talked about. Most weapons are good, and the nature of the weapon is based on the stance, the nature of the stance, and people don't talk about that enough. The first thing you discuss when you get a new weapon is not its stats, but the stance it will be. Well, sometimes the stance is determined by the stats, but you know, you want to know what stances the weapon has access to. So totally, yeah. These things are all right. They feel slow. I don't like how they feel, but they're all right. Well, MomQuest, I'm not worried about the changes. I'm just saying it would be pretty unclear content if I made all these videos about, you know, oh, you're probably referring to what Gabe said. Oh my god, if they ruin my Final Harbinger or Astral Twilight with a melee rework. Yeah, like, folks, they basically never do that. Like, that's just some kind of myth that is perpetuated by the fact that people always say it. Everybody always says, oh no, they're gonna nerf my stuff into the ground. But, like, when was the last time that happened? Like, and it was a problem, you know? People have very, very selective memory. So yeah, don't talk about that. That hardly ever happens. It's just a myth. They usually do keep the integrity of the thing. They're good game developers in that regard. They know what they're doing. And if it's really that bad, they usually change it. Like, they'll change it after the fact. It'll come out, and if your thing is ruined, like, they'll fix it. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I totally agree, MomQuest. Absolutely. And, like, there'll just be something else cool to do, you know? I'm honestly not sure how I feel about the melee rework. The change where they made the heavy attack spend all the combo you built. Oh, is that what it does? I had not heard it that way. Teenager's Guide, if you don't have confirmation, I had heard that it's just heavy attacks are affected by the combo counter, and light attacks are not. It's not that heavy attacks spend your combo, it's that they are what are affected by your combo. That's what I'd heard. Maybe I misunderstood. Aha. My new battery has arrived. That's interesting, Zez. You said, remember, people are much more likely to remember bad things until they're much older when things flip. I'm not sure I've heard that. I'm not sure I agree that that is the case. I feel like in older people, I feel that they remember the bad things even more. I feel like you just remember them more as a function of how old you get. But, I don't know. That's interesting. I have not heard someone say that before. Where's YouTube's Union Strike prep? What is YouTube's Union Strike prep? I don't really understand that. Meme Soap, so there's a lot of things wrong with YouTube right now. And I am part of a YouTuber's union established by some YouTubers, a lot of YouTubers. 80 million subscribers worth of YouTubers. Which is a lot, obviously. Not a ton, actually. That's smaller than it sounds, but it's still not small. And we're going to do a warning strike. Basically, the goal of this is to get YouTube to understand that they're doing real damage to people and stop being a corporation that associates it as, like, you know, oh, we know that it's bad to do things that are not creator-friendly, but people aren't going to leave just because we did this one thing, and then they do it, and then what happens is, mentally, it's as though there was no consequence. But there is a consequence, they just don't experience it themselves, because they're not YouTubers. And what is necessary is to make sure that people at YouTube understand that there's a palpable damage being done, as they do all this anti-creator stuff that will eventually lead to the site falling apart, just only in the very long term. You know, not soon, but eventually. What is going on here? Nobody equipped any relic. People are so salty. Anyway, so that is part of the deal. Essentially, what's going on is that bad waypoint. People are talking about, I also heard it consumes the counter. I saw in Eiflin's video, he went over the proposed changes. It was released today, so I'm assuming it's relevant. Yeah, I mean, I no particular lack of faith toward Eiflin, but he might be wrong. That's all I'm trying to say. A lot of people are very unclear on it. So that could be, definitely, but... I'm guessing you'll build up your combo counter like normal and then spend maybe 10-20 points on a heavy attack. Huh. Interesting. Okay, that makes more sense, but what exactly does that mean for your channel, though? Oh yeah, Meme Soap, of course. I'm sorry, I'm not done explaining. So here's the deal. So Meme Soap, for the first bit, for the warning strike, I'm just going to upload the video I was normally planning on releasing on Friday to Twitch instead. And on YouTube, you'll see a video that's kind of like a trailer for it that basically does nothing more than be like, hey, this is my video for the YouTuber strike. If you want to hear about that, keep listening. But if you just like to consume today's content, go in the description with a link to my Twitch where you can consume it there. And your normally scheduled content will begin, you know, whatever other day I'm gonna, whatever. We're only doing one strike video for this, you know, whatever. And then what a blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm going to talk about what's wrong for like 10 minutes in case you want to be informed about that. And if you don't, then go ahead and watch the other video. It's going to be something like that. So that's all for now. This is the first stage. This is the first thing we're doing that is a protest. So it needs to be small. We don't want to kick YouTube in the balls like we're just trying to do something to get them to understand that we will be diverting. If we're forced to leave, we will be diverting viewers somewhere else. Like, and that's not good. YouTube hates that. So that's what we're doing. So the people in the YouTubers Union are all uploading one. Some people are doing more, but just one video on another platform, and then putting a trailer up on YouTube that diverts people to that other video. And then content will just continue as normal. So I'm planning to put out a video tomorrow and Friday, but the video Friday will be on Twitch, and then next week the videos will just be as normal. That's all for now, but I guarantee that YouTube is not going to react just to this, so we're probably going to have to do it again, and then we're going to ramp it up. Then it might be like for 2 weeks, every video we put out will be on a different platform, you know, and then we're really establishing that other platform, and then the gloves are being taken off a little bit. And then if that doesn't work, you know, you see. So I'll keep you all posted. I just want to make sure that it's extremely clear, like, what I am and am not doing. I'm not stopping the channel. I'm not actually making any less content. I'm not moving to a different platform. Not yet, anyway. You get the idea. I just want to make sure that's abundantly clear because a lot of creators, no offense, with worse communicative skills than me, but still have failed to get their community to understand what's going on. And I feel that kind of defeats the point. So whatever, I want to over-communicate rather than under-communicate. Anyway. Boop. Zandy, do you have a preferred sniper for Eidolon hunting? Yep. I prefer the Lanka as well, but I do think that all of them are pretty reasonable. I've used the Volcar before and it was fine. I didn't love it, but it was fine. I've used the Rubico before for Eidolons. It was fine. I didn't love it, but it was fine. I've used the Vectis before. It was fine. I didn't love it, but it was fine. I think the Lanka is better on a weaker build, like less good mods, and the Lanka still feels better for killing Eidolons, but that's just me. Go figure. They will all be serviceable. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of them in particular. I don't think there are that many like gems per se. I do think, however, that for non-sniper weapons, the Knell is a gem that you might not have explored and that I totally recommend. Try this build. Shoot the Terrorist's head, and then you'll get the infinite ammo buff with multi-shot, so you'll get it fully stacked, and then you can open fire into one of the limbs with infinite ammo. Sick, especially if you're farming a lot of Terrorists, because you'll never run out of ammo. Fantastic. So I highly recommend you try the Knell. Or both. You know, the Lanka and the Knell. And then you have a hit scan one too, which is nice. And it's also really good for DPSing the final stage where it's just the body, because you just never lose the buff because you can just unload into its head. Do you think Sanctuary Onslaught will replace Hydron as a new experience farm? Not for everyone, but I certainly do use it for that. It is a little bit slower, Happy Days. Sanctuary Onslaught is a little slower than Hydron in my experience. And it's also harder, of course, so for some types of gear, you might not be able to kill everything. But if you can, I think it's better, yeah. It's a trade-off, though, so I think that's fine. That's great, I think. Best of luck with the strike. Thank you. I'm sure the strike will go just fine. Again, it's mostly a beginning measure. And just to be clear, we have a 2-week period that people are releasing videos, so it's already begun. I'm doing mine about in the middle. It's been going on for a little less than a week so far. So yeah, like Charles McFarlane says, for leveling an Onslaught, the scaling an Onslaught is too fast, and your weapons will kill nothing if not leveled and modded. If you're Master Rank 20 or whatever, like, you have enough default mod space. If the weapon is any good, you'll be able to do Onslaught with it just fine. It's definitely not true that you actually need the weapon maxed. Any decent weapon will still be able to kill stuff just fine. But it's not like it's easy, you know, it will still be more of a challenge. So there's a concern. Meme Soap, you said it's just the striked video, no others. So again, it's not there's a bit of confusion here that I think they should have clarified. That it's not that the videos we're uploading to a different platform have a strike on them. Like, YouTube strikes are a system YouTube uses to punish creators for using copyrighted content. We're not talking about that kind of strike. We're talking about like a workers strike. So yeah, just the one video that I'm using for the warning strike will be on Twitch, and then everything else will be as normal for now. So it'll be very, and again, there'll be a video on YouTube showing you that video on Twitch. It should be extremely easy to keep watching content as normal. You're just going to end up having I'm going to be diverting a bit of audience to Twitch instead. And I stream on Twitch like 3 times a week anyway, so it's not like it's an irrelevant platform. Pornhub videos for 2 weeks? Oh boy, yeah. I'm down. Like, if that's what we have to do. Michi, I think we'll at least make progress. YouTube has already admitted some things that they're doing wrong in meetings with us, the people in the union, which is a small but step in the right direction. Would uploading the content to Dailymotion be a positive or negative to the strike? Parody Schmarody, Dailymotion is a platform lots of us are using, yeah. I'm not going to use it, I'm going to use Twitch, but lots of people are using Dailymotion too. That's perfectly fine. There are problems with all the platforms. There was a really good post that Jurg, one of the leaders of the union, posted about it that I thought was really, really interesting, that I'm going to read you on Facebook, if I can find it, which maybe I can't. Hold on. 1 second. Yes, okay. Allow me to read you a thing by Jurg. The warning strike also reveals the problems of all of those alternate platforms. I've tested 2 of them myself, Jurg has, Facebook and Vimeo, and received many reports from fellow YouTubers about their experiences with others, as the strike has already begun. Facebook won't allow mobile users to watch videos without having an account. PC users can, but mobile users can't. And sometimes the image quality is super bad, audio and video out of sync. Plus, you cannot embed a Facebook video, so no featuring on the important news pages and blogs. That's a big problem. Vimeo has a max upload volume of 500 megabytes per week, which is extremely low if you don't pay. I, Jurg, likes to upload high-quality 1080p 60 footage, so do I. A 5-minute clip will easily have 1 to 5 gigabytes. 500 megabytes is pitiful. So I have to save the video as 720p 30 to make it fit without paying on Vimeo. Daily Motion, even worse, no HD resolution at all. Some of the independent platforms do not even allow comments. How can you build a community without communication, etc.? The biggest problem, many of the smaller services lack bandwidth. This is, in my opinion, it is the biggest problem. This isn't a problem for smaller channels as the amount of simultaneous views is limited, but if a larger channel uploads a popular video, several thousands of people will watch it immediately. Then you get stuttering, unwanted pauses, and even breakdowns because the smaller platforms don't own enough servers to keep it working. They don't have enough computers to handle that many people. And that means the more popular you get, the worse your video quality gets, but like sort of, which is obviously terrible. Like that's a deal breaker. So yes, the alternatives to YouTube suck even more than YouTube. Yep. That's true. And this is the kicker that I've been saying for a few months now. Sadly, it would be more lucrative to have several channels deleted and start from scratch over and over again than to switch to another platform. Ironically, the best option for quality is actually Pornhub. They're a problem for a lot of other reasons. One of the biggest ones is that they not only don't have ad revenue, they also are not going to get it because they make money other ways, mostly by subscription services, I think, and there's probably some other, I don't know, but mostly by subscription services as far as I'm aware. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that's interesting. Teenager's Guide, we actually have a lot of news coverage coordinated so far, which is awesome. Some parts of the union have already made some headlines, which is cool. But yeah, Hans said, what is the YouTuber union strike? Basically, we're all just as a warning to YouTube that they're messing up their site and they need to fix it, and we're mad. We're all going to upload one of our regular videos to another platform and leave only a trailer directing people to that other platform on our YouTube. So on Friday, I'm planning to upload a video, but it's going to be on Twitch instead, and you'll see a video on YouTube that just tells you to go to Twitch to watch it and talks about the situation. Shirtless framework? Maybe. I'm quite new to the game and have got Rhino and Frost plus Excalibur. Who should I go for next? Meme Soap, if you're enjoying them, no one else. Those are great frames to have. But there are lots of other... There are lots of other frames you could pick. Really, I would recommend going through the star chart and just getting the frames as much as you can. Meme Soap, I'm glad that makes sense. I'm glad that makes sense. Mr. Fruit, you said Vauban's 1 and 2 need a rework. His 2 and 3 need better base stats. Agree or disagree? Agree on all counts. I think his 3 is fine, but I agree his 1 and his 2 need almost an overhaul. Anyway, fantastic. Before we were theory crafting some Equinox stuff, I thought it would be nice to get these deck stacker leveled up for a little bit of mastery. Does Twitch have any issues concerning content creators? Oh yeah, Josh, I didn't mention any Twitch issues. For Twitch, it's actually a little bit more complicated. A lot of the problem with Twitch is that getting monetized on Twitch is very difficult. And Twitch is not really a not unreasonably difficult. I think Twitch's system is good, but it's not going to save anyone fast. It takes years usually for a creator from scratch. But the other issue with Twitch is that their ability to query videos and provide you with discovery content is very weak at the moment. Twitch's video watching audience is pretty low. It's pretty much all stream people, and videos uploaded on Twitch simply do not pull the views that they would on even a small dedicated video platform, and that is the primary issue, in my opinion, at the moment. But there are a lot of complicated potential problems. Speaking of which, somebody asked me yesterday on stream, if I could explain what's going on with the quality settings on Twitch, and I actually looked that up and I have a very good answer. So I'd be happy to talk about that in just a sec. But let me answer this because I missed it before. Gabe, you asked before, sorry. Do you think we're getting Saren's rework because of Sanctuary Onslaught? If so, do you think Equinox is next? No, she needed a rework. She was already probably the least well-designed frame from like a cohesiveness standpoint. And I think a lot of people, I want to say something about reworks that kind of answers your question. I think a lot of people don't understand why Saren is getting a rework, because from their point of view, they're saying, but Saren is good. Saren's not weak, so why does she need a rework? Well, none of the Warframes are weak anymore. We're finally done with that. They're fixed. There are frames that still need changes for power, for balancing purposes, perhaps. Like I was saying before, Mirage and Ember. I think Mirage and Ember do need changes, yes. But they're not really that weak. Like, they still do good things. And that's not really a problem. So the reason they're reworking Saren is because of usability and understandability, not because of power. Saren is currently very, very strong in the game at the moment. It's not a problem with how strong she is. It's a problem with how ridiculously oblique and unclear she is. That is what I want to say about that. So is Equinox next? Perhaps. Equinox is indeed kind of awkward to understand, and clunky, if you want to use that word, clunky. That is kind of the problem. So yes, Equinox is in that category. I'm not sure she's the most clunky after Saren, but she's up there. So yeah, probably. I would imagine. Equinox is getting primed, like, sort of soon, isn't she? So that would mean, like, you know, not within a year. I'm just saying, like, not never. So maybe that's happening soon. I don't know. Anyway. Somebody said, how hard is Equinox to get? She seems fun. She is fun, and she's got lots of interesting things she does. But she's very difficult to get. I see people have told you in chat. She requires basically building 2 Warframes and then combining them. Which is obviously a lot of farming. I highly recommend that you simply buy Equinox with Platinum and farm the Platinum instead. I do not recommend that you, like, farm Equinox. It is definitely faster to just farm the Plat and then sell items to players, like farm prime parts, etc. Damix, sorry, I missed your question before. You said, been away from the game for like 6 months. How do you think I should get back into the game? Try the new things they added. Try killing Tridolons. Try fighting the new Eidolons. Try doing Sanctuary Onslaught, which is new since you've left. Try doing the new endgamey stuff, and see how you feel about it. And, you know, maybe explore the new frames if you're interested. Try Focus now that it's better. You can farm it with Sanctuary Onslaught. Anyway, yeah, so I mean that's all I really particularly recommend. Nothing in particular, but generic YouTuber said, I'm gonna miss Maiming Strike. Maiming Strike isn't getting nerfed, so you won't miss it. There's no nerf to Maiming Strike. You can't spin through walls, but that doesn't really make Maiming Strike that much weaker if you just walk up to your enemies. Maiming Strike is not getting nerfed. I think it's actually more polearms and Rivens that are getting nerfed. But they too are not getting directly nerfed, it's just a mechanic thing. Anyway. You know, I've recently started trading, and using Plat is so much easier than actually playing the game. Yeah, well it is, because then you can farm however you want, you know, for Platinum. It's true, Mesa's not the easiest to farm. I thought Equinox was after Mesa, that might be. Greater Sea, Equinox was before my time. So, as some of you know, I'm actually a relatively new Warframe player. I've only been playing for about 2 years now. So I'm not the old 5-year veteran that some other partners are. So a lot of these frames are still like that when their normal version was released. It was before my time. Death. No Maiming Strike nerf. They never said they were gonna nerf Maiming Strike. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Parody Schmerity, if you like farming Equinox, more power to you. That is, we could use 100 like you. What about Excal's Exalted Blade? Its waves are still going through walls, right? I think that already isn't the case. But maybe not, I don't know. They'll probably get rid of that. I think they should get rid of that. It's not all that fair, and it's not necessary. The ability is still extremely powerful. So, I don't know. I wouldn't count on that staying in, but I do not think they are explicitly nerfing that now, to answer your question. No, Damix, it's okay, no problem. I'm sorry I didn't get to your question faster. It is a perfectly good question. Damix, if you have a sec, I am doing something that might interest you. So my partner Anna, my girlfriend Anna, likes Warframe but doesn't play all that much, hasn't played that far. She's played through the quests but hasn't really done any of like the end game, if you will. And over the next couple weeks, her and I are going to set up an end game setup for her, like, you know, suitable, powerful, you know, Rhino or something simple. And then we're going to do all of the end game activities together. So we're going to do, you know, endless Kuva survival, Kuva floods, Sanctuary Onslaught, Tridolons, you know, like maybe Index and Rathum, we'll dip our feet in there. That, right? We're going to do that. And then she did a podcast talking about what she felt like the appeal of Warframe was before she'd done that stuff. And then we're going to do another one after she's done it that's like her impressions afterward. So that'll be over the next couple weeks. We were going to start that today. Yeah. Hitesh, you said, how cool would it be if allies could pick up Volt Shields? There's an augment that lets them do that. There's an augment for Volt Shield that lets allies pick it up. Relatively new augment. Boop-a-doop-a-boop. What are your thoughts on this direction the story's going? Good. I think it's getting better. I think they're doing a good job releasing information in a way that's actually useful. I think it's actually often the side quests that, like, I think Chains of Harrow's lore was actually really, really good. They're getting there. I think there's a ways to go, but I think it's getting steadily better, which is great. Sorry if you answered this before, but is Maiming Strike worth it to buy now? I haven't talked about that yet this stream, don't worry about it. And it's fine to repeat things, you know, people come at different times, don't worry. I don't think it's entirely worth it if you don't enjoy using it, but if you want to spin attack, then spin attack. I recommend doing that. Right now it's very affordable, and it's not getting nerfed at all. It's not really going to be that much meaningfully weaker in practice. Like, you're going to be able to use it in a way that is about as strong as before. You're just going to have to do, like, gameplay a little bit differently. It's not going to be a big deal. So if you want to use it, then yes, buy it. That's what I think. I personally would not really recommend it overall because I just don't think you need it. But if you would like it, then yeah, now's the time for sure. You told her to start a YouTube channel on last week's stream, I know, right? Yeah, Spirit and Steel, I think it's going to be a good time. The first podcast was pretty good. We were very derpy. It was like a pretty derpy podcast, but it was fun to record. So yeah, hopefully it'll be really interesting. Did you play Chains of Harrow with headphones and almost poop yourself like I did? Yes, I was told to. And I especially set aside time to play it with headphones in, and it was scary. I liked it. It was a good time. Chains of Harrow is awesome. One of my favorite things. I also liked Octavia's Anthem, actually. I liked a lot of the quests recently. I love Equinox's sound design. Her abilities just sound cool. Podcast is on your Patreon. Yep. Yep. $1 a month, you'll get a podcast every week. So being a patron of any level gets you the podcast. All the things that you can watch on my Patreon are the minimum amount. My Patreon is set up front-loaded. Some people have rewards that lead into each other, which is good financially, but I don't think it's that community-friendly. I don't want people to have to pay a lot to get to like fanboy out about stuff. If people really like me, that's very flattering, and I don't want you to have to pay a lot to get like the rest of my content or whatever, which is why I try to focus it on just me talking more about things I already talk about, stuff, and make sure that all of it is front loaded. So if you just pay $1 a month, you get everything that you ever get to watch, and then after that it's just perks. $5 a month you get a glyph, and you can be in the Q&A. You could already watch the Q&A without that, but you can be in it if you have $5. $10 you get 2 Q&A slots, etc. But my rewards are very front loaded. You get most of what you get for just $1. Which again is not good as a financial strategy, but is good as a social strategy. Because it means, you know, everyone can spare $1, you know? Like, so if you feel like you want to, then that gets you pretty much everything. And if you don't feel like it, that's totally fine too. Remember, we're still going to give away one of the podcasts every month on YouTube. You're actually going to get the first one next week, I believe, which is pretty exciting. It's Joey Zero and I debating about whether weapons are good content. It was a lot of fun to do. And I think that you will like it. Oh, Jaman, thank you for the positive review. Jaman said it's worth every $1. Ugh. A certified review from a glorious patron. Ugh. Jaman. Jaman, welcome. Welcome, Jaman. Jaman just used my my currency system on Twitch, my stream currency that you get from watching and like doing quests on my Discord and stuff, to buy a chat channel that they have moderator privileges over, which has been a ride to experience. Yeah, boy. Josh Merritt, I think they're buffing everything range, so the Oma slide range should be even better. That'll be fun. All the Ton Fuzz will have better slide range. Yes, praise be. Kari Jordan, are you suggesting dual Javlock pistols? That sounds epic. That would be so sweet. Like tiny little like one-handed spears, and you have 2 of them, and you can like and they explode, and then you pick them up. That would be sick. And then you can pick up one at a time, and maybe they fire differently if you have one at a time. Oh, that's so spicy. I love that. What a hero. Look at this ally. YouTube does not have kappas. What a design flaw. I know, right? You confirmed terrible website. Terrible. RuPaul, I am indeed standing. I'm indeed standing. My hair is so deflated today. It's because I shampooed it. It's so light. It's so poofy. Leonardo Madruga, welcome back. Shepard, welcome. Yes, another glorious patron to review my Patreon. Dual Javlock pistol sounds so dank. I want that so bad now. Who's the hardest Warframe to get grind-wise? I feel like that would be a fun long-term goal to set for myself. Honestly, like Meme Soap, I think it's Equinox. Like, it takes a lot of time to get Equinox. Some people say Ivara, but it's more RNG. They're both pretty RNG. Ivara or Equinox, I think, is the grindiest. Yeah, boy. Hey, now the Oma will be good again. Yeah, it's already good, but I mean, it will certainly be better because its range was like your pinky finger. But yeah, I mean, the Oma stats are insane, but the range was just not there. Just not there. Hey, Zandy, does a gas build work on the Astilla, or is it enemy dependent? Dreadnought, a gas build sounds okay on the Astilla. Again, it's just dependent on how much you're hitting lots of enemies at once. And I feel like the Astilla has good ability to do that. Not great, but not bad. So sure. I find that the Astilla is one of those weapons that it's rounded enough that you can kind of do viral corrosive or gas, and they all kind of work okay. Oh my god. There are a lot of effects in here for a frame that doesn't have a good way to be tanky, necessarily. You could say that YouTube is crappa. JJ Biggie, that's wonderful. Dual baby Javlock, yeah boy. Save me. Okay. Why does my sentinel not save me anymore? I have sacrifice on, and yet it doesn't save me. Why? Why, though? Why have none of my allies done the objective? Why? Why? Hey, Zandy, coming back after a few months from the game, any big highlights I missed? Yeah, Nick Baker, the biggest one is Sanctuary Onslaught, which is essentially like a different form of survival that is dependent on how fast you kill enemies, not how fast you get life support. And it's really cool. A lot of people, I think pretty much everybody likes it, I guess. I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but it's really cool. It is a very good focus farm, so now there's like a focus farm that isn't cancer. So that's a big change in my opinion. You can farm focus without insane burnout. Let's see. That is a huge thing. Arcanes now drop from tier lists, and raids are gone. I don't know if that was 2 months ago, but maybe you missed that. That happened. Oh, I have 9 out of 10, damn. Please drop a reactant, please. You dropped a reactant, I love you. Yeah, boy. Zandy, I tried the Corinth airburst with gas like you mentioned, and it was good times. It is. It's very good civilization. It's a good time. Oh, Corinth airburst with gas is Bay. Bay. King of the Bay. It's not like the ideal weapon for that tactic, but like it's pretty good tech for small groups of enemies. Get DPS, nerd! Get dipsed! Wrecked! Blah. Colin, you said just started cooking Korra. Cooking. Hey, I got a sub on Twitch. Praise be. CR, thank you for the sub on Twitch. I hope that you're here and that you can hear me saying thank you. Thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it. And we should totally hang out sometime, in the famous words of Joey Zero. Folks, you too can be like the person who just subbed to me on Twitch by using your Amazon Prime to give me your free Twitch Prime sub at absolutely no cost to yourself. You can subscribe to one person for free every month and they get money and you don't lose money, which is awesome. And you should totally do that to give me money for free. Well, it's not free for Amazon, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway. Yes. How's best to build her? Well, Colin, there's never one best way to build anything. Well, not never, but most of the time. Cough, cough, some frames, but... I think that Korra is good with more rounded builds. I think that range is pretty core on her. I think a lot of her abilities benefit primarily from range. I think a little duration is good because the duration on her 4 especially, but also her 2, is really low, it feels to me. So I think some duration is warranted. Some strength is warranted, but I think it matters more that you get it matters more that you have the right mods on your stat stick melee if you want to do damage with Korra. So, you know, range, get some range. Some efficiency if you're going to spam your Whip Claw. Wait, Amazon Prime and Twitch Prime are the same? Yes. Yes, they are. Twitch is owned by Amazon, and if you have Amazon Prime, you have free Twitch Prime. You just have to connect your accounts. Makes these sounds and wonders why he gets marked as mature. I know, right? What do you mean joking? That's true. I started using laser sight on shotguns, and oh my god, you were so right. The crits are so consistent. I know, right? Hey, Fast and FTL, thanks for the free sub. Yeah, boy. There it is. Praise be. Fast and FTL, thanks for the sub. I hope you can hear me right now. Thank you for the sub. Rip my ears with that grunt. Nick Baker, sorry, I missed your question earlier. You said, cool, is the Tillis Bolte still doing the meme space program on the second slide attack? Yep. Nick, Halsey, you said I can't watch the stream. Will you switch to Twitch for later? Nope, not today. Some days, yeah, but not today. Boopity-boo, boop, 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 boo. Josh Merritt, you said, are there any recently buffed beam weapons that you think are good? They're almost all amazing. If they remotely have like supplemental stats, they're all really, really good. I would say that beam weapons are among all of them are among the strongest weapons in the game now. In particular, if you want a lot of particulars, but sure, the Amprex is insanity, like beyond human comprehension levels of insanity powerful. Even more, it was already very good before, it's like even more insane now. The Atomos is not so strong now. The Mutalis, sorry, not the Mutalis Quanta, the Quanta and Quanta Vandal were reasonable before, but are extremely strong now. Extremely, extremely powerful. Yeah, MomQuest says all beam weapons are good except the Galaxian. That one is still kind of bad. I would say they're pretty much all good except the Galaxian, yeah. They're all pretty boring builds, mind you. I think most of them, their best build is going to be something like this, pretty much. But, you know, hybrid, not necessarily just Toxin, because this weapon is innate electricity, but you get the point. Convectrix is only okay. Again, like, they're not all amazing, but most of them are pretty good. And some of them, like Quanta Vandal and Amprex and Synapse, is pretty good. And Atomos and Synoid Gamma Core is insane, insane, insane. So insane. It was already good, already alright, but insane. They're pretty good. If the stats are there, you can expect an incredible weapon out of them. I think the Spectra is like only alright, as I've been using it a little bit, but it's okay. The damage is just really low. The Embolist is pretty good. That was a weapon that was pretty bad before, but is now actually fairly strong. The Embolist was not a good time before, but is pretty good now. Yeah, Parody Schmerity Amprex is like just insane now. Like I don't even know what to say. It's just like, it's nuts. It is just nuts. Like, this weapon is so much stronger than it deserves to be. Like, it could be so much weaker and it would still be insane. In fact, let's just bask in that. Meme Soap, I did the obstacle course, the normal obstacle course, so long ago that I really don't remember. Maybe it's still recorded in my dojo, but I don't know. The Spectra's fun. It's got really long range, so that's helpful. Which is nice. Boop. Rip Galaxy, I'm never gonna make that Frost theme build. No, it'll eventually be good, maybe. I don't know. Ash Pryor, you said, what are your thoughts on Atlas? Atlas is great. Atlas is rad. You have to like melee, because he's very much oriented on his punches, but he's pretty ridiculous. Oh my god. Is that all of them? Really? Wow. Wrecked. Anyway, there you go. Yeah. That's pretty screwed up. It's taco time. Yeah, boy. Teenager's Guide. That's exciting. Tacos sound good right now. Ash Pryor, I would love to direct you to my Atlas video if you want some of that Atlas build suggestion. Atlas Zandy Pants. Let's see if YouTube has de-indexed this video yet. Nope, it still exists somewhere with a pathetic 4.1k views. Ouch. Atlas vid. So this video has some fun things that you might not be suggested by someone else on Atlas, and you should go check it out. There's my Atlas vid. I hope that you enjoyed, Ash. Gas Amprex? Oh, baby. Should we do that? I don't think I want to do that. I'm scared. I'm very scared. You know what's also scary? Ignis Wraith. Let's talk about that for a sec. Let's look at that for a sec. Let's put our eyeballs on this build for a sec. Is this gas currently? Let's switch it back to viral. It's not even like that insane, I guess, but it's just like so much better than it was is the point. Spirit and Steel, sometimes there's a delay. I think sometimes it just dropped them, but I believe you. Thank you for resubbing with Twitch Prime. Maybe there's a bug with people doing it with Twitch Prime. That would be of concern. Anyway, Spirit and Steel, I'll look into it because I have noticed some. It seems like it's dropping. So as you see, time to kill here is not super quick, but like the enemies can't attack because of the heat procs while they're dying, which is pretty strong. And the ammo economy is just off the charts. Like, you're never gonna run out of ammo with this thing. Like, you can fire this for like minutes on end, hours on end, controlling whole areas of the map. And like, you're never running out of ammo. Still going with the same magazine. Still going with the same magazine. Like, again, these enemies are not dead yet, but like, the amount of control alongside that is just nuts. Just nuts. So who's Candy Pants, and why does YouTube always try to direct my searches from Zandy Pants to Candy Pants? Some extremely small channel. Cyborg, I think what's going on is not so much that there is a meaningful entity named Candy Pants. There is a very, very small YouTube channel that isn't active anymore as far as I can see, named Candy Pants. But I think what's going on is that somebody once typoed it, and now, like, everybody gets it suggested, and they're like, maybe that's right. Maybe I misheard. Zandy Pants is a weird name, so maybe it's Candy Pants. And then they click on that. And then because people keep getting it wrong, I think that Google's machine learning thinks people mean to type Candy Pants. I don't know. I think it's something like that. Because I cannot find any meaningful entity anywhere that is actually, like, seriously using the name Candy Pants for anything of any remotely rivaling size to mine. So I don't know. It's always kind of a thorn in my side. I'm like, Candy Pants again. Yeah, boy. Great. Oh god, so fast. Shame it's inactive. It would be a cool name. Yeah, I mean, we could, incorporate them. Hostile takeover. So what I want to work on when people are not talking about stuff they have questions about, which is totally fine, please feel free to continue to have questions about stuff, is working on this Equinox build. I had been wanting to make a build. Some of you were here yesterday when I was working on this. I've been wanting to make a build that combines energy transfer and peaceful provocation. This allows you to transfer charge between mend and maim between forms. Normally, your abilities, of course, turn off. Peaceful provocation makes your pacify have an incredibly powerful slowing effect that will keep enemies pretty much from moving entirely. And I want to combine these. This would allow you to charge up your maim while in night form as mend, while very safe because of peaceful provocation. And then you'd be able to briefly swap into day form, blow up your maim to kill everything, and then swap back into night form to be safe with peaceful provocation while you charge up another maim with mend. However, the build space is just not there. It takes so many stats to get both of these to be good. I just don't think it's quite possible. But today we're going to try again. today we're going to try again. You know what's going to be crazy, Parody Schmerity? You said I use Ignis Wraith with Combustion Beam and Onslaught. You know what's going to be gross? Ignis Wraith in Onslaught after the Saren rework with Saren's augment for Contagion Cloud. A lot of you probably don't know this, even though it was in the patch notes. It's really obscure. So let's show it real quick. This. So when you make a kill with Toxic Latch, which now applies to all of your guns, you create a cloud that does toxin damage in an area. That's going to be disgusting with new Toxic Lash. Like, basically, that means Toxic Lash makes you do gas procs instead of toxin procs, like, effectively, because it's AoE toxin. Like, it's going to be gross. Like, I think it's going to be so, so gross. And really fun, too. I mean, just kind of overpowered, but still fun. Anyway, so that is our task for today. I'm hoping to try to make an Equinox build that marries these two very powerful augments to create a very safe MAME build. I think the Achilles heel of MAME is that it's a bit squishy. So I'm not sure. We'll see what we can do. Support Quinox with a nuke. Sort of, yeah. Sort of. Macroshaft, welcome. Welcome back. I love that you can see the moment the corrosive procs strip off enough armor for it to not matter for negating damage. Yeah, I agree. It's fun. Spank Tank, earlier you said, I wish I could earn pants in here. I actually have a bit of a story about that. So those of you from my my Twitch, will know that when you watch my stream on Twitch, you can earn pairs of pants, which is my stream currency. And if you're on my Discord, then you can also earn that by doing quests. And when you get pairs of pants, you can use them in my stream store, which is a bunch of cool stuff. A lot of it on my Discord, but lots of it elsewhere, like buying glyphs and stuff. It's one way to get my glyph. And while I do stream more on Twitch, and of course, like a lot of the streaming is on Twitch, so it doesn't really matter, it would be nice if we could earn that stream currency on YouTube streams. And I'm happy, but also frustrated, to tell you that you can, kind of. You can in theory, but the way they implemented it is so bad that you can't in practice. The stream platform I use is called Stream Elements, and they do indeed have the ability to combine a YouTube and Twitch bot. So you could be earning the same stream currency in both YouTube and Twitch streams by the same content creator. However, if you click the button to log in with your YouTube account on Stream Elements, even one time, it permanently binds your YouTube account to a separate Stream Elements account that you cannot unbind. You cannot disable it. It's gone forever until they invent a feature that lets you unbind it. The way that you actually connect the two accounts is much more complicated and not as obvious. So if you're interested in doing it, then you might, well, very reasonably, click on the thing that says sign in with YouTube, where you're like, oh boy, I can do my stream thing with YouTube and give people currency on YouTube. That will permanently make you unable to use it, which is of course what I did and what hundreds of other people have done. And their Discord is a storm of people asking, when are you going to allow us to unbind our YouTube accounts so we can use it with Twitch the way you're supposed to? When will you do this? Please do this. And they don't have that feature yet. So that sucks. However, it is kind of good in the sense that we will indeed someday be able to do that. So do not fret. Eventually, you will be able to get that stream currency here. How long is the stream left? We started pretty late, so probably another hour or two. All right, Sandy, I'm going to the grocery store. What do you need? All right. Mung bean sprouts. Tortillas. Cabbage. Jackfruit. Limes. Fresh limes. Cilantro. And lettuce wouldn't hurt. Carrots, diced carrots, like, you know, the strands of carrots, not diced carrots, you know what I mean. Those. I will make some delicious vegetable tacos, and it will be delicious. What two mods are you currently thinking of replacing with Equinox's augments? Well, that's the problem, Gabe. The build is just too cramped. People are saying, what kind of stats are you hoping for with this build? Like, what is the must-have percentage for strength, range, etc.? I mean, we worked on it yesterday, and it's impossible. Even if you remove all survivability, there is simply not enough room to make it powerful without the drain being, like, insanity. So this is what we had before. I'll talk about this in just a sec. The hell is a jackfruit? Jackfruit is a very, very large, sinewy kind of fruit. That has a texture that is very, very similar to meat. It's a lot like pulled pork. It is I hesitate to say it's a vegan substitute for meat, because truly speaking, it's just like a different food. It's very nutritious. It tastes a lot like pulled pork, which I actually don't really like, but I like jackfruit. It's tasty. There's a huge amount of it. It's pretty sustainable to produce. Jackfruit's awesome. It's an awesome food that kind of tastes like meat. Not for nothing. Anyway. Well, Meme Soap, don't worry. I mean, this will become a stream archive after it's done, so you can watch the rest of it later. It'll be a video on my channel. So here's what we had. This has the range to make the abilities worthwhile. It has the efficiency to make the abilities not, like, kill us by trying to use them. But it doesn't have quite enough duration, and it doesn't really have as much strength as you'd like for Peaceful Provocation. And it also, you know, doesn't have those augments in the build. I will try, if you twist my arm, I will try setting the build up like this. But I don't think it's going to work. So we really don't have enough. We need a little more duration for the purpose of holding on to our energy. With both channels up, this is very, very energy expensive. And then strength, we want strength to be higher, so the slow for Peaceful Provocation is worth it. But we don't have any room for that. We just don't have the space for that. You could argue something like I could see that. I don't think that's that great, but let's try that. So here, with this build, the strength is almost there. It needs a little bit more, but almost there. It's probably enough to be worth it. The range is just worth it, just barely. I suspect it might be better to just have more range than this strength. The efficiency is as high as it can be, and then the duration is a little low, but it should be offset by the overcapped efficiency for what's it called? Channeled abilities, you know, can take kind of more than the max efficiency. It's not that they take more, it's that it offsets negative duration. The jackfruit is very, very large, like sometimes the size of a person. Yeah, it's huge. It's like, it's gigantic. Javon, we're not still doing promo codes. we will get the righto system. Yeah, you should look up jackfruit. They're huge. Chromatic Blade, Exodia Force viable. Just sound, it's okay. I would recommend maybe trying something more like Exodia Epidemic for Chromatic Blade. It's okay. Partially level corrupted mods, maybe. But let's see how this is. Let me show you how this is first, because I do have a few ideas that I haven't really dug into yet. So we're gonna start in Night form. Summon these enemies. Oh, we need to be vulnerable, or it doesn't really matter. Activate Pacify and activate Mend. And now we're going to jump in. And the drain is going to start getting a bit aggressive. A bit upsetting. Now we have to take damage to charge up Pacify. So we're going to hopefully take some damage. Yep. Taking damage now. And we're also charging up Maim, of course. 27% slow, okay. What a monster, damn. No! And then if you fall off, the entire build falls apart. Why not use Growing Power for Aura? Yeah, no, we might very well have to. Volchev, I wanted to make sure we had to before I reformatted the slot, because it's a lot of work, but I will not be lazy. If that's what we need to do, I will do it. Oh, right, I had taken off my mod that makes me heal. A fun fact is that the jackfruit is actually a fig. What? I didn't know that. That's cool. Sorry, hold on. Alright, now we have a source of healing from our melee. So the build can actually work. Alright, now we have to tank enough damage to charge this up and see if the slow is strong enough to be worthwhile. 32%, okay. These enemies are slow, to be fair. Ow. 39%. 40%. 43%. The energy is doing okay, actually. Maybe swap Overextended for Auger Reach and Stretch, swap Transient Fortitude for Intensify, and Cunning Drift for Power Drift. That's not going to be enough range. The range is still low now. I mean, it's not terrible, but... Teenagers Guide, I'll see you later. Do you think they'll ever add dual stat frame mods, like 20% efficiency, 20% range? Yeah, Josh Merritt, they expressed some interest in doing that a while back. So I do think they might, yes. I would love that. I think that'd be cool. Teenagers, thanks for being here. You've been great as always. Hit me. Hit me, you weaklings. Hit me. Ow. But, like, actually hit me for damage. I might be at full charge. I might be at the 50% that is... Yep. So for us, we cap at 50%. This is still a significant damage increase, though. I actually think this is relatively powerful. Like, if you watch these gunners trying to wind up, it's pitiful. Like, you have plenty of time to break line of sight before they do big damage. And then, like, we can very easily swap into day form and maim them. And, of course, it doesn't kill them because these are, like, level 80 gunners with no armor reduction, but... pretty meaningful. And now you see the enemies are attacking pretty fast. Okay, so that wasn't that bad. What about self-damaging yourself with something like Angstrom? We'll save time. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Volchev, when we make the full setup, I would definitely want to include something that includes self-damage so that we can speed up the charging. Since when you maim, obviously you have to recharge the aura. But keep in mind that the way that... let me go to the augment. The way that Peaceful Provocation works... It affects allies too, so you don't have to get hurt. Like, when you're in a group, you will get it charged up much faster. It's not going to be hard to charge up if you're in a group, because it will affect all of your allies. I like how everything about jackfruits is more bizarre than the last thing. I know, right? But yeah, Volchev, that's a good idea. Madruga, you said, why not use Arcane Ultimatum instead of Guardian? They're the exact same, except that Ultimatum has to be activated with a finisher, and Guardian does not. Guardian is always better unless you are not taking any damage on health, because it's literally the exact same thing. It just does it automatically instead of Ultimatum, which does it on a finisher. Ultimatum, I think, is better on Rhino, because you don't want to be having your health get hurt. You want your Iron Skin to get hurt. And then Ultimatum you can still trigger to boost your Iron Skin strength, so that. But otherwise, Guardian is always better because they do the exact same thing. This one you just have to do a finisher, and this one you don't. But it's good. I mean, they're both good, of course. Consequence is not necessarily what I would use here. It's just what I had on. Okay, so I think we want to form the aura to be power strength, and then we can save a slot on intensify and use that slot for stretch. But I'm still not confident that it's going to be enough efficiency when the enemy counts get insane, so let's test that by using Drakmasters. So this will be many, many, many enemies, because remember, you get drained more from Pacify per target it's affecting, so the drain should now be immense. Yep. You can see the drain is extremely high. I literally just got one-shotted straight through all of my abilities. And you can see if you watch my energy gauge, once I activate Pacify and jump into the group, the drain becomes immense. Like, the drain starts to be like insane, and this is at max efficiency. So there's not much for it. I mean, if you're gaining energy back fast enough, maybe. But the problem with this is that it means that in like Onslaught or something, this doesn't accomplish anything useful, because you're just going to lose the energy, and then your big defense will be disabled. What color palette has golds and blacks? A lot of them. I could go through and show you some. Storm has good ones. Classic and Classic Saturated. Oh, Zandy, I binged the entirety of Fate Zero over the past 2 days. Holy crap. Great storyline, though. I'm a little on the fence as a whole. I enjoyed the characters and philosophical questions, but there's something. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but I do think it's pretty good overall. And I think that if you enjoyed it as a whole, you probably will like Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, maybe even better, possibly. I think Unlimited Blade Works has some better twists in it, so definitely give that a try. I'm glad you watched it. That's awesome. I hope that it made you happy and you enjoyed it a little bit. So much exposition about strangely overcomplex, weirdly gamey systems. I agree. No, it's true. Spirit and Steel, I think that you might be appeased by the way Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works approaches it, because it is not so intense like that. Cortel, you said the build could also be a needs EV Trin for Onslaught team coordination. No, because you can't gain energy from Energy Vampire while you're using Mend and Maim. So while this ability is on, you can't gain energy from Energy Vampire. So Trinity doesn't help at all, unfortunately. That would be a great potential solution. Somebody said something smart. Madruga said, the way I think about it is that with Guardian, you'll have to get hit before you get the armor. With Ultimatum, you get the armor before an enemy sees you. Yeah, but I think that functionally, if you have to be able to take one hit without the armor, in my opinion. Like, if your frame can't take one hit without that armor, like, you need to be tankier. Like, you see me just dying, I need to be tankier than this. Like, this is too squishy. I have no survivability mods. I have not a single survivability mod. And that's a lot of the problem. It's possible that Peaceful Provocation is not worth it. But then I'm not even sure the whole energy transfer thing is worth it. Again, I'm not sure this idea is worth it in its entirety. It's just something that I thought was an interesting potential experiment. I do think having growing power as your aura would help, but it's not going to change anything. That's why I haven't formatted that yet, because it's not going to do anything different. It's just going to make the Peaceful Provocation part better. And again, this shows its strength in a squad, but because Peaceful Provocation charges faster. But Cortel Maze, I am absolutely positive that you cannot gain energy while Mend and Maim are active. I am 100% positive. I am 200% positive. I've never been more positive about anything in Warframe. The Cortel Maze, if you're only using Mend and Maim on their own, the drain is quite manageable. The reason that the drain is so high on this build is because Pacify drains more energy for every enemy it's affecting. As you can see here, it says energy per enemy is only 0.13, but that adds up. A possible solution is, MomQuest was saying, you probably don't need overextended and stretch. Maybe, and that would have the added effect that it will make our drain less intense, because our Pacify will be affecting less enemies. Maybe. But that also makes Mend and Maim weaker, and that's sort of supposed to be the point. Gabe says, maybe try the build with just energy transfer and sleep for survivability. That was one of the thoughts I had, yeah. That maybe being a night form is going to be helpful mostly for rest and not for pacify. Maybe it was misguided. As a matter of fact, the normal effect of pacify is rather effective on its own. Maybe it is reasonable to leave off peaceful provocation. Only way to get energy over time while using this is a Xeneric trait, but you need to pick up an orb, and I'm not 100% sure it'll work. Yeah, I mean, that's not enough. Like, even if you get lots of energy orbs, it's not going to be enough. I still hold out hope that stacking shields with augur mods and the arcane will get you there. Shields are paper. Shields are worth nothing. Unless you have some kind of damage reduction effect, it's not enough. It's just not enough. I do think though that we're talking about like remove peaceful provocation and use rest for CC. I think that's a very legitimate use case. So we're literally just going to take this out and then we're adding back in intensify. Make it look pretty. And now, basically what's going on is this just lets us charge Maim in Night form, and then, like, we can use Rest to protect ourselves. And, I guess, Pacify. You know, if Pacify is not useful, then we can drop all the, Strength. Cortel Maze, normally I would say test everything, but I am like 500% positive there is absolutely no chance in hell that you can charge a Mend and Maim active Equinox with EV Trinity. You just can't do it. All channeled abilities work like that. I have tried it before, not recently, but that's how all channeled abilities work. You definitely can't do it. You can with Pacify, because Pacify works differently. It's a weird kind of channel ability. Like when you hold Volt's Electric Shield, if you saw that Volt video I did, it's a weird kind of channeled ability where you can gain energy while using it, but Mend and Maim are not that kind of ability. So we're going to activate them, just Mend and Maim, not Pacify and Provoke. And now it should be... Ow. What's your opinion on Coaction Drift? It's good for coordinated parties, but I don't think it's ever good if you're not in a coordinated squad. Maybe in incredibly specific situations, like if you have no other relevant mods you can add and you want more damage on a melee weapon or something, then you could use it with Steel Charge, but it's not really good for increasing the damage of melee weapons anyway. That'd be for like Ashe. Steel Charge increases Ashe's Bladestorm damage. So you could run that and then Coaction Drift to just increase your Bladestorm damage more. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So now we've charged up Mend relatively safely, and now we can swap. And blow it up. And blow up the windows. And now swap back. Now that's charged up from relative safety, hooray. And we can swap to day form and blow it up. Nice. That feels good, I like that. Why not have more duration? Caldrace, it doesn't affect anything we're using, and the drain is already maxed out. We have 190 total efficiency and 160% duration. 60% duration. That's maximum lowest possible drain from channeled abilities. And that's what we care about, so that's the only thing we have to worry about. So increasing duration would only make like that would possibly make the sleep from rest that would last longer, sure, but I don't think that's really all that necessary. It's definitely something you could do, but it would be preference, and I don't think it's really worth space. It would just be like a if you wanted to kind of thing. But I don't know, maybe, like, if it comes that... How big is our card control area? It should be pretty big, right? Yeah. And we can spam it for, like, no energy, right? It should cost, like, pretty paltry amounts of energy. Yeah, real cheap. Very cheap. But yeah, Cauldress, we just already have minimum, excuse me, negative drain. Nice. Oh right, I don't have a sentinel. I was like, why am I not getting energy orbs? Joseph McGee, you said the blight effect from the augment tops off energy. Yeah, like that's not enough though. It's a nice bonus, but that's not a reliable part of your energy economy. It's just a nice, like it is a nice asset, and something I would definitely run in a build like this, but it's not enough. I don't think that should ever change your build path. It should always just be like something you can add on, and it is indeed something good to add on, but it's not enough. We have that drain that we were seeing with Pacify on as well. Like, watch, even here I'll activate it and it'll be like against not even that many enemies. Like, the drain is just very high, and this is only against like 10 or 20 enemies. In Onslaught, it's just out of the question. I definitely think we need more. I'm just not sure it's viable to have a build that uses both. It's just such insane drain. Oh, lovely. Yeah, so that gives you a nice, like, snap crowd control to keep you safe. I like that. So it's probably not worth having Pacify, like Power Strength or Pacify. Meme Soap, I'll see you later. I hope you have a good one. Thanks for being here for a while. I hope you had a good time. Tell your friends. Speaking of energy economy, what's your opinion on the state of energy economy in the game right now? Well, they said that they were going to decouple it from Xeneric, but they didn't do that. I don't like that. It makes me a bit peeved. I'm a bit angry about that, a bit cross about that, if you will. But overall, I don't think it's that bad. I think that because we have more people with the arcanes, more people with arcane energize is good for that problem. More heroes running around is good for that problem. Yeah, I can't say bad, it's just not that much better. So we're gonna need some explosive weapons. We need like some good AoE, because we're gonna be putting a whole crowd of enemies to sleep to charge up Maim and then blowing it up. We have good duration on the Mended Maim speed boost too. I like that. I mean the Metamorphosis speed boost. When you go into day form, you go fast. Not very fast with our power strength, but kind of fast. Get out. Cool. If only we had a separate slot for augments. I don't know. Volchev, I've always had mixed feelings about that. Maybe. Maybe. It might be a bit OP at sometimes. Sancti Castana time? Maybe. It's probably going to be like more, not Arcaplasmor, but like more of something like Arcaplasmor. Fusillade with concealed explosives, maybe? Well, again, we don't need self-damage. I see you two are an avid user of ciphers. I know, right? An avid user of macros. So we can get rid of all of this, which is wonderful. And that means we can kind of get rid of this. I think we are still at max. It's 40% and 175, right? So we get rid of all that stuff, which is great. It's a bit awkward, actually, because we don't need any any V polarity mods now. I actually think that we should keep prime continuity for the duration on rest. So I'm going to do that. Now that I think about it. And we'll go over here. Overextended. I'm going to keep vitality. For Arcane Guardian. And then we have a slot. Which awkwardly and irritatingly enough would be perfect for... we could do Common Frenzy. That could be interesting. You're better off with Duality rather than Peaceful Provocation on that build. Interesting. It would be a good decoy. Certainly won't last very long. I'm not sure that's worth the slot. I think Calm might be better. But maybe. Duality would be fun, though. I agree. What countries or places have you visited, and which destination was your favorite? Vassal, I liked, we'll play with Duality for fun. I don't think this is the best mod here, but it's not bad, you know. Where did I like the best? Mind you, I think that the best choice here is just Augur Reach to get the most maim possible. But we can do Duality for fun. Of the places I visited, where did I like the most? I went to Los Cabos a while ago, a long time ago. Los Cabos in Mexico. And I really, really enjoyed it. I just like the environment. That's fun. Let's see. I went to Saint-Tropez in Paris a little while ago. Probably not saying that right. And that was nice. It was kind of disgusting how rich it was. That kind of made me want to vomit in my mouth, but I did think it was pretty. The French countryside in general is very pretty. I really like a lot of northern England. I like York. One time I went to York in northern England, and it was kind of nice. Very labyrinthine little cities. I enjoyed it. Oh, Gray, welcome. You said, Andy, I'm stuck in bed today for my chronic pain. What's your favorite healing method on a sick day? Some people have a favorite comfort food, for example. Gray, so there are a few. First of all, cold brewed tea. Like this, which I was going to show you all. I bought this weird sake that I don't really, overly recommend, but it was alright. Called Miyozakura Junmai. Junmai is a make of sake that does not have any added alcohol for smoothing. I looked that up when I bought this sake. I didn't know that before. I don't really know a lot about sake, but I guess I do now. And Miyozakura is just the make. And it came in this cup, this pretty looking cup, right? So after I drank it, I figured I would keep the cup and make some tea, some cold brewed tea in it. So I've left this turmeric ginger tea bag in here for about 3 days. Very round, soft flavor. So yeah, Gray, usually I'll make some tea and then cold brew some tea. Make a bunch of tea, and then you sort of have a tea plan for the next day. The cold brew tea, it varies from type of tea to type of tea, but a no scope strategy would be to simply leave it in for a day and then take it out. Go more tea rather than less tea on tea bags, but you don't have to double brew the way you do when you make iced tea by hot brewing tea and then putting ice in it. So just use a little more tea than normal. I like that. Gray, you asked about foods. So my favorite comfort food is veggie chips. I will go get them maybe at the end of the stream and show you. But Trader Joe's is where I buy them. They sell these veggie chips, and they're basically just chips, but they have a little bit of veggie powders in them, and they just taste a little bit different, and I really like it. They have these lentil thingies that are pretty good. I like slightly salty foods, and then like massive overhydrating. That's what makes me feel good. Make sure not to do too much salt, obviously, because you'll dehydrate yourself, but and your body wants lots of water when you're sick, but you have to make sure you have electrolytes too, and sodium is the most important one. It's just easy to get. I might recommend taking some magnesium if you have access to some, and some potassium. If you like avocados or bananas, you could eat one of those. Keep your electrolytes good. You're going to hydrate a lot. Everybody does that when they're sick, but you're going to need electrolytes, so try that maybe. Anyway, that is what I personally recommend. Gray, I also like to eat ice cream, but it's not, not good to have too much. People are talking about how duality is extremely good. I know it's good. Like, I know it's good with lots of weapons. I'm just saying I do think that pushing the build to more range is relevant. It may still be the better choice there. I don't know. Somebody said something cool about... Someone said there should be mods for mods. Would that be cool? We already don't have enough modding space, so I don't know. But that could lead to some interesting build choices. I'll think about that. Actually, duality will suffer from the strength going back down to 40. Yes, it will. Quite a bit, actually. That will mean the damage is not much higher than normal, but still, your Spectre doesn't have to aim, so... I'm actually going to mods for mods. I'm actually going to do that. Anyway. When Zany stops talking and stares into the distance, you can almost see the wheels spinning in his head. Oftentimes, I'm, like, looking at the... Like, here, I'm looking at the Warframe thing. Here, I'm looking at chat. Here, I'm looking at you. Here, I'm looking at the video. Here, I'm looking at my mic. Here, I'm looking at my lamp. Here, I'm looking at my keyboard. Or my mouse. Here, I'm looking at my drinks, usually. Or my moon plate for the tea bag, once we are done dredging it out of here. Get that turmeric out of there. Yeah. Put that in the moon plate. Wonderful. Sandy, I've got an idea. Exilus Rivens. They just give Exilus style stat boosts, but they're Rivens. Okay. Alright. Yes. Actual. High salt content increases your body's ability to maintain high water levels. Yep, you need both. Somebody was talking about how Provoke could increase your ability strength for Mend and Maim. That should carry over, yeah, because it'll snapshot your ability strength, but it's very little because we have like minimum possible strength. That's pretty much useless, unfortunately. But yeah. So yeah, let's bring weapons that are good with... when you use duality, one thing I forget from the last time I used duality was, does it take the weapon you have currently equipped, or just, like, whatever? Let's use Fusilier. The build. The Dream Police. My team is off to attack the space Sid. I'll catch you later. See you later, Shepard. Boop. A lot of people are saying thoughts on Melee 3.0. Josh Merritt, you said, what alcoholic drinks would you recommend? And I'd be happy to recommend some, but let me talk about Melee 3.0 because that is a perfectly reasonable question. I'm actually going to put a lens on my Equinox. I don't already have one. I already have one, but it's your Nairu. That's janky. I'll put one on the comb. The comb deserves one. Come on. Let's give it a Monterey lens, or a Narbonne lens. And let's do some Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. Yeah, so people are saying thoughts on Melee 3.0. Macroshaft, you said, I'm actually really upset about Melee 3.0. Feels like damage 2.5 levels of derped. Nah. Like, damage 2.5 levels of derp is like... is like destroying the game. That's like not even, it's not possible to be that bad normally. But I agree that it is a little questionable. It's just that, I mean, of course they're going to tweak it, you know? I think that the thing that needed changing was channeling, not maybe like everything else. But who knows? I think that it's possible to create an incredibly good system here somehow. I don't know how, but there might be a way. So let's switch to get my Spectre out. Let's see this out for a fair little while. Sure. Yeah, so again, like, I think what you need to keep in mind is a lot of the things that they told us, we really don't have very many details on. They didn't give us almost any details on a lot of them. And so a lot of them will be very questionable depending on their numbers. For example, they said that heavy attacks will maybe consume combo counter or like only be affected by the combo counter or something. That will depend a lot on the numbers. If it's like 5, then that's really reasonable. And if it's like 20, then I hate my life. So I don't know. I mean, stuff like that, you know, will depend a lot on the numbers. Executing melee combos using multiple buttons could be really nice. That could revolutionize things a little bit. I think a lot of it is not as different as it may seem. I do want to say that. But yeah. Do you think Melee 3.0 will absolutely ruin gunblades? If you have to build combo counter just to shoot once, that's pretty bad. Yeah, again, they didn't say how they're going to implement that, so I'm not going to say, again, like, I don't think that's an invalid concern. I don't want you to think I think that's, like, a bad thought. But it's not worth being upset about yet, because we have no idea how they're going to implement that. But yeah, of course, that would be of concern. Now, however, if the shots are more powerful, then, you know, maybe. Could be reasonable. Will the boar ever get an augment? That would be cool. The boar prime. It'd be spicy. Someone said don't forget to stunlock enemies by flipping to day form. If you can do that based on does natural talent, does casting speed increase the animation time for metamorphosis? Because that would be insane. You know, Cortelmaze, if you're still here, it's weird. I feel like I am gaining a lot of energy, and we have a Trinity in our squad, so maybe it weirdly does work, even though that makes absolutely no sense. And I tested it recently and it didn't. While channeling Mended Maim? I don't know. That's really strange. Again, I really do think a lot of people are overreacting about the melee changes, though, because we really don't know what they are, like, in their entirety. And I think that we need to wait for more. We need to wait to see before we... There's really no sense getting upset about it, because usually the final form of things we get in this game is not really that similar to their initial conceptual form, and I think that will be never more true than with melee. So... Yeah, Cortelmaze, I don't know. I'm not saying for sure. I'm just saying it certainly seems weird how much energy I'm gaining. It could just be there's lots of energy orbs in here, though. I'm not draining that much energy. Like, I'm not using all that much energy. That's just interesting. I don't know. Yeah, Natural Talent is super core on this. Yeah. Don't tell me Streamline Form affects the transform time. That's ridiculous. That's awesome. And like Speed Holster. That's awesome, if that's true. Did they ever roll out the IPS changes they were talking about a while ago? Nope. They would completely destroy the game in its entirety, so they realized that and they scrapped them. They're totally destroyed, they're totally gone. Yeah, MomQuest, I agree. Like, again, Cortelmaze, keep in mind, it's probably a bug. They, no other channeled abilities work that way, and it's not supposed to work like that. So just be aware, like, I wouldn't plan around that, because it is a bug. Probably. Maybe it's not, but it probably is. Let's get out the old comb. Still interesting. Nick Baker, although it's not like they've given up on IPS changes. They simply realize that the ones that they planned are terrible. And they're not going to do those, but they're going to do some at some point, but we don't know what they are. What IPS changes, exactly? They were going to change the way damage types worked, and they were doing way too much, and a lot of it was work that just doesn't need to be done. And I don't know why they were doing that, but they were. So they're back to the drawing board now. This is ridiculous. This is strong. Being able to lock enemies like this is good. I like how the like forms of your body like fall away with the duality clones dying. That's cool. I ran out of energy. Damn. Damn. Oh, yeah, MomQuest. I see what you're saying. Sure. I think if you're gonna use it this way, it's probably not useful for this build, because your duality clone is not gonna live a meaningful amount of time while you're locking enemies in this stun effect by switching over and over again. I think it's gonna be better to just stick to doing that. All they need to do to balance IPS is to fix armor scaling. That's not true. Because puncture procs are, like, just worthless. The changes they were gonna make were to the procs, not to the damage bonuses from different IPS damage types are meaningless. Like, it's 25% damage bonus against, like, only one kind of armor. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. The thing that they need to fix is the procs. Puncture procs just don't do anything. That's what they were going to change, and that's what they should change, but they didn't change it in a way that would fix it. The change was a bad choice. Hello. Do you want to try some of the tea? Look at the face she made.
I make a face.
The tea that I had been brewing for several days for you and me.
Yum.
Yeah? You say yum to that? How are you? You look... Was it the worst? Yeah? You sound pretty happy. Look at all those numbers. Look at those numbers. You ever seen numbers like that? Bam, look at all those numbers. Grace says, hi, Anna. Someone said, while armor scaling is bad, impact and puncture is still worthless compared to slash, but that's not true. Because if you use impact, you can juggle enemies while you deal with their armor, and then slash deals with their armor. It's puncture that is pointless. Impact is still worthwhile. Again, like, it's not always as good, but having weapons have a little identity and having things be different power levels, there's no problem with that. It's a problem with... Was that Callie? The problem is that puncture doesn't do anything useful. We're getting to a situation where there are multiple useful ways to deal with armor. It's just that some procs do literally nothing, like magnetic and puncture. You can use corrosive to deal with armor, you can use slash to deal with armor, you can use Warframe powers to negate armor. Lots of ways to deal with armor. Not enough. There should still be more. They should still change armor scaling, sure. But that's not the only problem. That's not the full problem. They still need to make punctures proc not terrible and do nothing. They still need to make magnetic not terrible and do nothing, etc. Fatto Cato. Great, it's true. It is a truth. She is a Fatto Cato. Not Anna though, you're a small Cato. Just small Cato. Small Cato. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Wandering. You want to play?
No.
Okay. Magnetic should suck enemies together. It would go well with gas procs. Exactly what I recommended. Yeah, boy. I want to backflip into this portal. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, Cardiac, I know I'm changing I'm flipping forms to the stun way too often. I know. I just have to get used to it. So you want to flip back into night form right away, and then what I really need to do is go to the simulacrum and like practice it. You have to flip pretty right away. Not immediately, but like you have about 2 seconds. Well, Vasily, you're being argumentative for the sake of it. You know that what I mean is things that address armor in some way. Yes, they ignore it, or they strip it, or they remove it, or whatever. But the fact of the matter is they deal with it. They fix the problem of the enemy not being killable because it has armor. And I actually think that the game's current balance, where like you have to have a countermeasure for armor, but you also have to have a countermeasure for like other stuff, like infested disruptors draining your energy and stuff. I think that's good. Like that's meaningful as well. Oh crap! Wrong form. Do you think they should get rid of the damage bonuses for different types and just focus on procs? No, why? I think the damage bonuses are perfectly well balanced. It's the procs that need balancing, I think. Don't you guys think it's weird in nature that females are almost always larger and less colorful than males, but in humans it's supposed to be the opposite? Yeah, that's true. It varies from animal to animal, but that's an interesting point, I guess. It's Oh, well, Samara shut off my ability. I mean, Gray, you know, like, gender not existing is a idea after my own heart. I hate it. I hates it. Well, I don't hate it. I hate that people are so insistent on it. It only does harm, in my opinion, but I don't want to deprive anyone of it if that's what they want, of course. Dominic, I am indeed standing. Standing I am. Bam. Macro Shaft, you said, I just wish we could stack elemental jump mods. If I can somehow find room in a build for both Icebring and Firewalker, I deserve my blast bounce. I agree. That would be fun. Be a good build thing, too. No, Macroshaft, please don't say that. I actively want people to discuss that kind of stuff on my stream. I totally do not mind people talking about that at all. And Macroshaft, the algorithm can't do me any more harm than it already is. It can't possibly get any worse. They're literally showing absolutely no one in my videos, and all of my views are from people that I direct to my content seeing it. Can't get any worse. Go ahead and talk about whatever you want, don't worry. If you all don't want to, there's no problem with that, but do not feel like you have to, don't feel like you have to not talk about it. Gray, I think Macroshaft is just worried about hurting the channel from an algorithmic perspective when it's in so much trouble, but yeah, Macroshaft, it's okay. I understand why you're saying that, but I like talking about that stuff. Don't worry. And if people are new to my community, please understand, I am not one of those streamers that does not like talking about, like, political or whatever topics on my stream. You shouldn't do that on most people's streams. It is a nearly universal rule not to talk about politics or socially charged topics on my stream, on people's streams, excuse me. But I personally do not care at all. I actually would say I kind of actively like that. And we do so all the time. So feel free to unleash your feels. Why am I always stealthed? I don't like that. Because we have a nocturne person. Tixilgon, thanks for following me on the Twitch. I hope that you can hear me on YouTube saying thank you for your follow on Twitch. I really appreciate it. And we should totally hang out sometime, in the famous words of Yoey Zero. Boop. Boop. Gray, I'll also say something that I tend to do is, like, just flop a little bit. Like, I have a lot of trouble removing the tension in my body a lot of the time, but I feel like plopping, forcing yourself to remove all the tension in your body can sometimes be exactly what you need if you're feeling chronic pain. YouTube has become some kind of corrupt future government run by robots. I know, right? It's not that bad, but like it's certainly not great. There are a lot of bad things, but it's not some kind of dystopia yet. It's getting there, but bam, get him. What do you think about Rivens for Warframes? Personally, I'm not down. I kind of don't like Rivens already, so, but I don't know, like, someone suggested Exilus Rivens. That actually sounds sort of cool. I don't know. That could be okay. I don't know, I just don't like Rivens. I don't think it's a good kind of content. I think they should just stop focusing on it. It's fine to have them in the game, but... Oh yeah, I mean, Macroshaft, it's again, I suspected that that's what you were thinking, and it's perfectly noble of you to want to do that, but please be assured, Bubs, thanks for following Twitch, please be assured, Macroshaft, it's not possible. You cannot get in the algorithm's good graces, it's broken. It's not just that it is misguidedly set up, although it is somewhat on purpose misguidedly set up, it's also simply broken. It simply doesn't work. So it's not entirely a matter of, like, getting on its good side or like doing things that are good for the algorithm. It is just broken too. And something that I want to discuss more when I do my oh no, sleep for the win. Something I want to discuss more when I do my video for the strike, which I'll talk about there more, is like how people have kind of been blaming YouTube for everything, and like it's not all their fault. Like the things that are bad, but not all of them are YouTube's fault. Like a lot of them are just intractable problems that we must solve. at some point, and that we simply had not solved yet as a platform. And I think they should get credit where credit's... Well, they should not get credit where credit is not due for ruining some things, because some of the things are perhaps just bugs, and some of the things are just problems that are difficult. But a lot of the things are things they're doing that are crappy on purpose, of course, and those things, of course, they should be chastised for. I think it will probably be illegal business practice to have algorithms you don't fully understand within 10 years. That's an interesting thing to say. Gray, I think that's the optimistic, like, the non-dystopic version of our future. It will be illegal. But I fear that we will be in a future where it is not illegal, and we will have AI that do not, you know... Death by Ego, you say, can you explain to me condition overload bonuses? Does corrosive count as 1 or 2? And if 2, does rad corrosive count as 3 or 4 or 2? Death by Ego, I think what you're misunderstanding is that it's not about the number of elements in, like, on the target, or from the damage source. It's about the number of status effects on the target. So, for example, gas never counts as 1. Because gas is not a status effect that gets inflicted. When you proc gas, you get toxin. So if you were to proc toxin on a target and then proc gas, there would only be... you would only be getting a toxin bonus. So that's worth keeping in mind. So again, that should answer all questions about that. But for your example, corrosive counts as 1 because it's 1 status effect on the target, and radiation would count as 1 more because it's 1 status effect on the target. So for example, this enemy is 1, this enemy is 1, that enemy is now 3, or 4 because they were knocked down for a sec, that counts as double. That was then 4, 3, 2, 0 on that one guy. Does that make sense? Boom. Gray, I would agree with you that people are too scared of AI, but I'm like scared of programmers. It's not so much that I'm scared of like what the AI will do on its own. I like as much as I'm scared of what anyone else will do on their own. I'm scared of what people want to do with it, and how people will be motivated by greed to do terrible things with it. That's what I think. Knockdown technically counts as 1. Yes, it's, as I was saying, being knocked down counts as 1 too. So I don't know, Gray. I mean, I agree with you. I do think people are too scared of AI, but I do think there are things to fear, for sure. Exactly, like I was saying, I'm a lot more scared of people than I am of AI. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, Gray, that too. I agree that it's hard for me to imagine a world where somebody would consent to being in a society with unregulated AI. What? I don't know. We ride on. Oh no. We died. Bebop, you said, is Sinister Reach a good or bad idea on Artax? If you can equip it, then I think it's a fine idea, sure. There's really nothing that benefits Artax very much, so do whatever you want. You're not going to get very good results, no matter what you put on. It simply is not affected by mods very favorably in any way. So let's test the changing forms faster with the stun proc effect from switching into... Let me just show. The thing where you switch into day form and then Maim reactivates and they get a slash proc and stagger. I want to test how much better that feels with natural talent for holding enemies in place. Boop. And then I gotta go. I gotta eat. I gotta feed. Bebop, I personally run the Artax with absolutely no mods at all. I just don't think it does enough. But it didn't really feel faster to me. No, maybe it is. You have to do it pretty much immediately, you just don't have to hammer it, I would say. To keep the stun going. Oh god. So I would say natural talent, probably a no. The algorithm has seen the evil that is on YouTube and therefore the internet as a whole. Once it realizes humans are trying to fix the algorithm, it will seek to destroy us. Oh boy. Artax is a sentinel weapon, right? So if so, the zoom mod increases range for some reason. Yep. The way it targets Overlord Bunny is a little funky. To the effect that I don't think it's really all that worth it, even with that. But you certainly have nothing to lose by putting that mod on. So sure, but natural talent I feel like is a no-go. So I'm going with my original feeling, and that was to use, drum roll please, but Auger Reach. Great. Wonderful. Is there a one build to rule them all for Sentinels? And what are your thoughts on Sacrifice? Sure there's a one build to rule them all on Sentinels. It's like this, but not necessarily with these survivability mods. It's like this, except this slot in the Sentinel's precept, and for these, remove the ones that the Sentinel is not good at. Possibly all of them, in some cases. It's Vacuum, Guardian, Sacrifice, Medi-Ray, Animal Instinct, Prime Regen, in my opinion. And then just whatever you want in these other slots. There, and there are small variations, sure. But yeah, pretty much. I mean, the thing about Sentinels is I feel like it's not really as exciting to talk about the one build to rule them all because there are barely any other Sentinel mods. Like there are very few other Sentinel mods. But yeah, you know, whatever. That's kind of a one build to rule them all, sure. Ah yes, 280 range on the Equinox. Beautiful. This is pretty much the same as this other build, isn't it? Yeah, kinda. This was previously my focus farming build. It's pretty much the same. One build to rule them all for Equinox? Did you watch Ultron? Because this is how you get Ultron. Yeah, maybe. Does continuity affect stun length? I don't believe so. Maybe. I don't think so, though. Yeah, no, it shouldn't be listed anywhere. We'll check the wiki, though. Always check the wiki. Always, always, always. Equinox on Warframe. Okay. Boop. Boop, boop. 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 Dayform. Enemies damaged by the aura are temporarily stunned, not modified by mods. Nope. But oh baby, is it a big radius. That didn't kill all of these? That's nuts. Have you been standing for the entire stream? Yes, indeed. Indeed I have. Malachai, I don't really know anything about Rage as a franchise, but I had heard that Rage 2 was going to be a thing. Yeah, by the way, Macroshaft, I'm sorry I hadn't gotten back to you about that before, but you said I could swear Artax benefited from Sinister Reach at least a little bit. The problem is that it's the Sentinel's targeting range that is the limiter. It's not going to shoot things further away with longer range, I don't think, maybe? But zoom on the weapon will increase the Sentinel's targeting range, so that works. But I'm not sure if increasing the range, like, I don't think the Sentinel knows how long the weapon's range is, and or maybe Artax just has infinite range. I'm not sure it does anything. It's hard to say. Can't possibly hear it. Malachi Jones, got it. Baron, welcome. You said we just played. Cool. I was testing out my new energy transfer Equinox, although it's pretty much the same as any other Equinox. But still, it's cool. Thanks for being in squad with me. I'm going to make it look pretty now. Or maybe just move it to config A. Yep. Pull this out. Pull this here. Put this here. Move this here and swap these. And now it looks pretty. Look at that. Look at how pretty that looks, except for that ugly red letter. But whatever, look how pretty that looks. Only 3 forma. 2, 1, maybe even forma. Probably 1 forma would be fine. Darcy blows. Should we fashion a little bit? I feel I can do better than this. I feel this is okay, but not as good as it could be. This is alright. The day form looks alright. Perhaps the Tennokan armor can bring us home. It cannot. Perhaps not. Let's see what we got. That doesn't look bad. I kind of like that. It's a little lower profile. Let's try those and then go day form. So before we go, which we are going to soon, as I've been on a while, I do want to talk again about what's happening with the strike, just so everybody is 100% clear. I'm sorry, you're all going to have to be patient with me as I super overkill communicating about this. I just want to make absolutely sure that everybody knows what's going on and does not assume something is not going on that isn't. Full Foros. Let's use Nidus animation set. Edge boy. But yeah, so again, please be patient as I explain that probably a lot of times. Ooh, this is cool looking. This signed on her. Whoa, there's like a full-size bee in here. One sec, let me open the door for it. Come on, come out here. Go this way. Can't you feel the airflow? Go that way. Don't go there. Go over there. Callie's in here too. You can do it. You know there's air flowing out that way. Yeah, it's moving that way. You can do it. Go. Go. You did it. Good job. Oh, I got it back in. I'm trying to like bat it over there. You can do it. Go out that way. No, you fool. I want to save this bug. Where'd it go? Where'd you go, buddy? Well, whatever. I tried. Anyway, yeah, this is alright. I can dig that. Does it look okay with... We have to change the colors, of course. I think it looks good with night form. Like, very good. I'm just gonna have to change the metallic to be white. Anyway, let's explain it again. So I'm going to be participating in the YouTuber strike. If you've already heard me say this, I understand if you want to just go. And thank you all for watching. But let me explain this for people that are interested and don't know what's going on. I'm participating in a YouTubers Union strike. We made sort of a little group to protest the fact that YouTube won't fix their own site. And they're kind of destroying themselves, and we want them to stop because it's a nice site. These colors need to be changed more. So we're going to upload one video, not to YouTube, but instead to a different platform. One time, just one time. So I'm going to do it on Friday. The strike has sort of already begun. People are already doing theirs. And I'm going to do mine this Friday. That's when I'm planning to do it anyway, as long as everything goes okay. And I'm also fashion framing at the same time. Kind of liked a little white on there, actually. But it looked less good with night form. That's tricky. I'll think about it. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to upload one video to a different platform. For me, it's going to be on Twitch. So you'll just see on Friday there will be a video on Twitch instead of on YouTube. And on YouTube, there will be a video that basically just says, go to Twitch to watch today's video. And then it's like 10 minutes of me talking about what's going on with the YouTuber strike, why we're doing it, whatever. And I don't think that they're going to actually change anything or fix anything just because we do this one thing. So we're going to have to ramp it up in the future. Meaning, you know, strike for longer, not just one video, etc. But we'll, you know, I'll keep you appraised of that when the time comes. This will be probably another YouTube post on like Thursday, and then on Friday again with the video. I'm going to say it as often as I can. And, yeah, that's what's going on. I hope that makes sense. And please let me know if you have any questions about this at all. Feel free to leave them on this stream. Put them on in my community tab under the post that I just posted today about this. Wherever you need, don't hold back on asking questions about this because it's important. It is pretty much what makes or breaks whether we can still use this platform. So it's very, very important. If you have any questions about it, if everyone is informed, we'll get through this somehow. So let me know. I'm going to fashion frame this Equinox and get some food. And I will see you all for a regularly scheduled stream on Thursday and on Saturday. And I'm moving next week, so we will miss probably Saturday's stream only. But I'll talk about that later. Don't worry about it. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. If you'd like to go watch more Warframe, I, of course, have my Twitch stream hosting someone. It happens to be hosting Joey Zero right now, which is actually not Warframe. But you can go check out my Twitch, of course. Give me a follow and such if you like, either in the description or in chat. And I would love to invite you to join my Discord and talk with me and stuff. There. That's a very good place to follow me for other stuff. And it's a very convenient hub for content that YouTube has no say in. If you want to follow my content and get all my videos, but YouTube won't give them to you because it's stupid and broken, then you can follow me on Discord or on Twitter, which is also in the description of this video. And that's a great place as well. On Discord, I actually have a patron that is working on a tool that will allow you to calculate the damage, the, modded damage of any weapon, and it looks like this. The mod comparison tool, it's got all these tabs where you can modify your values, change what mods you want to put in the weapon by putting little ones in them and what ranks you have. And it will do all this damage calculation and stuff, which is awesome. And you should totally go check that out. This is posted on my Discord, so follow that link for my Discord either in chat or in the description of this video. And go to Workbench, the Workbench channel, and there's a link to this tool. You can check it out, you can use it, you can talk about it and give us feedback, and we'll make a sick DPS calculation tool to rival and surpass, because we're going to integrate status effects, the Warframe Builder tool. Status effects are already somewhat integrated, but that's a very important part of DPS that is almost always neglected and needs not to be. So go check that out. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I'll see you all next time.